Hello, I'm Mario Toneguzzi, managing editor of Canada's podcast, Taking Care of Business, today with Ryan Gubick, who is a certified financial planner and founder of MRG Wealth Management here in Calgary. Thanks for joining us today, Ryan.
Thanks for having me, Mario.
Well, we're going to talk about a recent financial stress index that FP Canada has released. And overall, it's showing financial stress of Canadians is on the rise. Have you been noticing that in your own personal encounters with people, Ryan? And why is this happening?
Absolutely, Mario. So the Financial Stress Index by FP Canada just got released for 2024, and it mentioned exactly what you said. That of this amount surveyed, 44% surveyed said financial stress was one of the leading stressors in their life. And that's higher than it was last year and the preceding year. And there's a lot of variables and stressors that are, combined to make that up. We have a high inflationary time over the last couple of years. We have groceries that are getting more and more expensive. Almost every month, it feels like they're getting more expensive. Housing, whether it be mortgage payments or rent or utilities or property taxes, those are going up. Debt payments, they're linked to variable interest rates. Those are going up. So there's a lot of financial strain being put on Canadians right now.
Yeah, exactly. Uh, so what are they doing? What are Canadians doing to manage and to cope with this? Like,
Yeah. So
first of
the
all, I
good
guess, because, first of all, it's a mental health issue, right? In many ways, right? Because stress, but then just from the sort of the nuts and bolts of how do you deal with your finances and what's happening?
Yeah, so the good news part of this story is that about 50% surveyed are optimistic about their financial future. So even though stress is one of the leading causes of their life, they're optimistic for the future. And part of the reason of that is almost 90% of the people surveyed are taking action and making strategic changes in their life to set them up for success in the future. And
Yeah.
some of the things that Canadians are focusing on, or the top areas, is paying down debt and trying to reduce that debt load, creating budgets to help them understand where their money's going. With that, tracking their expenses. So whether it be monthly or quarterly, they can see exactly where their money's going and be more intentional with their actions and get that control and confidence in their future. So that's what the survey showed and what I'm seeing in talking to individuals as well.
So when you look at some from a demographic point of view, obviously I would think that financial stress is something right across the board, no matter how old you are. And but is it hitting any areas or any demographics more than others?
Yeah, great question. So it is hitting kind of all demographics, as according to the survey, as one of the leading indicators of stress in their life. But it
Yeah,
does seem that the younger generation has a larger component, or the surveys responded as stress being a higher issue in their life than some of the older generations. Still stressful, but under 35 seems to be feeling a lot of the pain. Individuals that are trying to get into the workforce, or they might have just graduated from school and might have student debt and trying to get into the housing market and build up experience and build up kind of the economic earning capacity or potential that they have,
yeah.
is creating stressors in that demographic.
Because of all the pressures out there, financial pressures on people, do you think more and more people are living paycheck to paycheck these days than ever before?
Absolutely. I think the financial stress on many Canadians and many families is pushing people to live paycheck to paycheck, and many are probably not too far off from one paycheck away from not being able to make bill payments, and all those areas are creating financial stress. And you mentioned it earlier, that the financial stress, and why do we care about financial stress? And it's important to know and acknowledge, but it creates a lot of health and physical impacts for people.
Yeah.
So anxiety, depression, relationship issues. About half the people surveyed, I believe, mentioned that they're losing sleep because of financial stress, which causes other physiological issues in their lives. So it is a big impact.
So what should people do? If you're in that kind of mentality right now that you're really stressed out about your finances, What's your suggestion? How do people cope with that and start dealing with it rather than just sitting there and just, I guess, rolling up into a ball in the corner and hoping it goes away?
Take action, right? So there's a couple things you can do. Doing nothing is quite often one of the worst things that can be done.
Yeah.
So in the survey, those that are working with a financial professional, like a certified financial planner, reported lower levels of stress and higher levels of confidence kind of in their future. So that'd be one thing that someone can look at is aligning themselves with a professional that can help guide them and make this journey easier for them. Other areas include some of the items that many of the survey respondents mentioned that they were already working on: creating a budget, tracking your expenses, paying down debt, looking at your high interest debt first and tackling that. All those things can help you regain kind of control and confidence over your finances, which can help reduce stress in your life.
Do you think people can do it alone, or do they need a support system, like people like yourself, to do it?
I think it depends on the individual's background and how much time they have, right? We can learn and teach ourselves a lot of things. I have over 20 years experience in finance and accounting. If someone doesn't have the time or expertise in to do that, then hiring a professional that has that expertise and experience can help you leapfrog and avoid some roadblocks and pitfalls along the way.
All right, wonderful. Well, thanks so much, Ryan, for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me, Mario.
All right, that was Ryan Gubick, who is a certified financial planner and founder of MRG Wealth Management. I'm Mario Toneguzzi, managing editor of Canada's podcast, Taking Care of Business. Thanks for joining us today.